Take some word of advice from Uncle David here. Be careful if you walk outside this morning because whatever is wet is frozen and odds are it's pretty slick, and there still could be just a few patches of ice on the road here and there. The worry is that any sort of rain from Saturday night that didn't dry up completely is now frozen over, obviously, because of temperatures in the 20s. The icy conditions did cause a crash yesterday involving 7 vehicles. This was on 604 in Marbach. No one was hurt. If you can, just stay off the overpasses and the bridges today, at least until the sun comes up. If you do hit a patch of black ice, a little reminder here, if you start to fishtail, don't panic. That's the number one thing. Hard to do, but they're asking to do that. And don't slam on your brakes. Instead, steer into the direction that you want your vehicle to go just to regain control. As for what's happening in the skies, 23 flight cancellations this morning at the San Antonio International Airport. 70 flights were canceled yesterday. Bottom line, if you are scheduled to fly somewhere out of San Antonio today, check with your airline and give yourself a little extra time to travel.
And we are learning more about a massive crash near Junction Saturday night. The Texas Department of Public Safety says one man died after a 12-car pileup. This happened off I-10 in Kimball County near mile marker 470. The man who died has been identified as 56-year-old John Robert Tracy from Lutz, Florida. DPS troopers say there was snow, sleet, and obviously icy roads. This is still an ongoing investigation. Well,
odds are your child's school is closed today because of the potential ice on the roads. Most of the major districts have closed today, including North Side, SAISD, Judson, Alamo Heights, Harlandale, South San, Northeast, New Braunfels, Uvalde, and UTSA. By our count, by the way, the only school district in South Texas that we believe is open is La Vernia ISD. For a complete list, you can go to our website, news4sa.com.
Well, first responders have been working around the clock during this winter storm. The San Antonio Fire Department received 57 weather-related calls, and they responded to 17 fire alarms, 14 vehicle crashes, 10 power line-related calls, 3 transformer fires, 1 rollover, and 1 carbon monoxide alarm. The rest of the calls, the department says, were minor.
It's been a pretty busy couple of days for animal care services as well. Since temperatures started dropping Saturday night, ACS says it has received about 900 calls, 400 related to the cold. At least 85 pets, including dogs and cats, were taken to the shelter this weekend. The department says they were able to find foster homes for 77 pets on Thursday and Friday.
Inmates were relocated at the Bexar County Jail yesterday because of some heating issues. According to the jail, some of the inmates were telling their families that they were cold, so the jail says they moved them to a warmer area and gave them some extra blankets. They also say that staffers are working to fix that issue. And let's take a look at the CPS outage map. So started the morning yesterday, about 10,000 people without power. Today looking a lot better, although it does look like we have a few outages, at least one here left behind. So we'll continue to keep a close eye on that. CPS crews, though, did do, really quick work on trying to bring that power back. A lot of it was just caused by ice on the power lines, so not so much an issue of not having enough power, just the weather. So they were repairing all of that. Across Texas, a tragic accident for a group of teens who were trying to have some fun in the snow Sunday in Frisco. Police say a Jeep Wrangler pulled 2 16-year-old girls through a neighborhood while they were sledding behind it, but something went wrong and the girls hit a curb and then a tree. They were rushed to the hospital. One died and the other is in critical condition. The Jeep's driver was also 16, and police have not mentioned whether or not they will be criminally charged.
All right, about 10 minutes after 6 a.m. right now in Austin, a person is dead because of the extreme cold this weekend. The mayor there in Austin, Kirk Watson, confirming that yesterday. A man's body found at a gas station in northern Austin along the 35 access road. He is asking anyone who needs a warm place to stay, contact the city's 311 service. By the way, that's true for here in San Antonio as well.
We will work to make help available to you. We'll pick you up. We'll drive you to the shelter. We'll feed you while you're there.
It's a good deal. It's a good deal you can get here in San Antonio as well via offering to pick up people and drive them to shelters.
Across America, the Weather Channel is reporting that 3 people have died of hypothermia. That includes 1 here in Austin and 2 people in Louisiana. Nearly 200 million people are under weather warnings from the southwest to the northeast, and more than 1 million people are without power.
I think the entire neighborhood's out. I don't really have a backup plan. No power. I have a couple gas fireplaces, so maybe rely on those after a while.
And the Weather Channel has unofficially named the current bitter blast Winter Storm Fern.
As the freeze continues in San Antonio and the surrounding area, News 4's Christina De Leon has more. She's been monitoring the situation, keeping a close eye on the power situation and if you could be affected by all that.
She joins us now live from the Content Center with more on what we've been seeing this morning. Good morning, Christina.
Yeah, good morning, Joy. Good morning, everyone. You know, as Siobhan's been mentioning all morning long, we are getting a little bit of relief from the rain, but it's still freezing. And so we are going to be thawing later on today. A lot of us, though, still wondering, will we be able to keep that power on? And is a grid going to be holding up? We want to show you some pictures, basically, of CPS Energy crews working hard, basically. ERCOT updates every 5 minutes. Right now, there is still plenty of capacity on that grid with more reserve space to spare. That is the good news. We are only down to about 7 power outages across our city with about 220 customers affected so far. So things are pretty much better than what we saw over the weekend at the height of that storm when all of the rain and sleet and all of that messy stuff was coming down. Now in Austin, about 150 customers are without power in this. As the storm continues to move east and out of our area into the Houston area, we're talking several hundred people without power right now. So it's pretty bad. They're in the thick of it now. It's kind of moving out of our area, but we've got that big drop in temperatures right now in our area. Now, to make sure that we are okay, the U.S. Department of Energy just issuing an emergency order for the deployment of backup energy resources just to mitigate any blackouts that we may have in Texas. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. So far, we have not had that issue, but of course, we're going to continue to monitor all of it for you and keep you updated on air and online at news4sanantonio.com. Live in the Content Center, I'm Christina De Leon. Joy, we will send it back to you.
Christina, thank you. Conditions in Kerrville improving this morning after sleet covered the roads over the weekend. Most of that precipitation was sleet. A lot of ice accumulating on the trees and the power lines. Less of that today. Power did remain on for the majority of Kerr County, and visitors in Kerrville apparently made the most of the wet, cold weather.
I kind of like the cold because it's always hot here, so it's kind of nice to get a break from the constant Texas sun, but at the same time I wish I was home and not 120 miles away.
Now this Arctic chill will be the concern moving forward. Overnight lows in the teens in Kerrville this morning, so they're not quite out of the woods just yet.
Man, consider yourself lucky that you didn't live in Dallas if you don't like the cold and the wet and the snow. This is a look at some of the roads there in the Big D area. Many of the main highways across the Metroplex covered in ice and snow. And as far as flights, real big issue. So 81 flights have been canceled today at Love Field. Almost 300 canceled from DFW, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but it is far less than what yesterday was. Yesterday, nearly 1,200 flights canceled in both of those Dallas airports. Here in San Antonio, 23 cancellations this morning from San Antonio International. 70 flights were canceled yesterday. If you are scheduled to fly out of San Antonio today, please check with your airline and give yourself a little extra time to travel. And speaking of what is on, what is off right now, school is almost across the board today. Canceled. Odds are your child's school district has closed for today because of the potential of ice on the roads. Many, in fact, most of the major school districts are closed. Northside, which is the biggest school district in town, is closed along with SAISD, Judson, Alamo Heights, Harlandale, South San, Northeast, New Braunfels, Uvalde, and not a high school, but UTSA has also canceled classes for today.